A quiet revolution is electrifying China, and the world may never be the same again. Picture this: a single nation adding more clean energy in 1 year than the entire wind and solar capacity of all of Europe combined. Now add to that the insatiable hunger of artificial intelligence, an emerging force that demands electricity on a scale humanity has never witnessed before. Is China truly prepared to lead the planet's green future? Or is it teetering on the brink of a colossal energy crisis? As we step into a decisive decade shaped by climate imperatives and digital transformation, China's actions, successes, and stumbles alike will ripple across the globe, shaping economies, geopolitics, and the very definition of progress. This year, China is expected to inject an unprecedented amount of new renewable capacity, an astounding 500 gigawatts, into its national power grid. To give you a sense of scale, this is more than the combined total power capacity of Germany and Japan, two of the world's industrial giants. Over a quarter of this new energy will be harnessed from wind alone. That's right. Despite skepticism from some Western leaders, including former United States President Donald Trump, who once suggested China ignores wind entirely, the reality is starkly different. China now boasts some of the world's largest wind farms, from the breezy coastline of Jiangsu to the immense, sun-baked plains of the Gobi Desert. Massive turbines stretch over agricultural fields, capturing the faintest gusts and converting them into power for cities, factories, and the ever-growing digital infrastructure. But how did China reach a point where it could contemplate such a bold energy transition? The answer lies in a combination of political will, economic necessity, and a strategic vision that recognizes the symbiosis between energy security and technological dominance. For decades, China was synonymous with coal-fired power. Cities were choked with smog, rivers blackened, and respiratory illnesses soared. This dependence on coal was both a curse and a crutch, fueling rapid industrial growth at the cost of environmental degradation. Yet, over the past 2 decades, a quiet but relentless pivot has occurred. Guided by the ambitious 14th Five-Year Plan, a blueprint designed to steer national priorities from the year 2021 through 2025, China is aggressively diversifying its energy mix. The new mantra: build cleaner, build smarter, and build bigger than anyone else. This transformation is not merely about climate optics. The economic stakes are enormous. According to the international renewable energy think tank REN21, Chinese investment in renewables last year reached a jaw-dropping $290 billion United States dollars. That is more than twice the amount invested by the next largest economy. The surge is not only about building solar panels and wind turbines at home. China's renewable manufacturing juggernaut now supplies more than 3/4 of the world's solar panels, and its wind turbine exports are reshaping energy grids as far afield as Brazil, South Africa, and the United Kingdom. No longer simply the world's factory, China is positioning itself as the architect of tomorrow's global energy system. Yet, a new and unpredictable force is now amplifying both the opportunities and the risks. Artificial intelligence. The rise of AI has ushered in a new era, where data is the new oil, and the servers that process this data are the engines of growth. China aims to achieve a staggering 300 exaflops, exascale floating point operations per second of AI computing capacity by the year 2025. This is a leap of nearly an order of magnitude from current capabilities. But there's a catch. AI's appetite for energy is legendary. Data centers. Those windowless, climate-controlled fortresses that house the brains of the digital economy are voracious electricity consumers. Every time you use a smart assistant, stream a video, or rely on facial recognition, you are tapping into a vast network of machines running around the clock. Consider this. A single, large-scale data center can consume as much electricity as a small city. In China, where the government's Internet Plus strategy and growing AI ambitions have spurred an explosion in digital infrastructure, the number of data centers is skyrocketing. In the past 5 years, China has added hundreds of new data centers, many of them concentrated in the densely populated eastern provinces. Each is packed with servers, cooling systems, and backup generators, every component hungry for power. The result is a mounting strain on the national grid, raising urgent questions about whether China's green energy buildout can keep pace with this digital surge. Praveer Sinha, the chief executive officer of Tata Power, puts it succinctly: no one can compete with China's scale in renewable energy manufacturing. Yet even as China races ahead, storm clouds are gathering. For the year 2024, the country missed its carbon intensity reduction target, achieving only a 3.4% cut, short of the goal set in its own national plan. Lori Miliverta, lead analyst at the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air, warns that unless Beijing enforces stronger policy measures, China's climate goals could drift even further out of reach. At the same time, a paradox is unfolding. While China claims leadership in renewables, it started construction on nearly 100 gigawatts of new coal-fired power plants just last year. This mixed strategy, championing clean energy while hedging with coal fuels, skepticism about the depth of its green transition. The AI revolution is stretching the grid to its limits. Massive data centers, which are now fundamental for everything from language models to autonomous vehicles and national security, require a constant, dependable supply of electricity. Blackouts or even minor disruptions can cascade into economic losses and, in some cases, national security risks. To manage this new reality, Chinese engineers are racing to create next-generation smart grids, leveraging AI to forecast power demand, balance loads, and predict grid failures before they occur. Predictive maintenance algorithms now scan thousands of sensors in real time, identifying weak points in the network and dispatching repair crews with pinpoint accuracy. Advanced energy storage, ranging from lithium-ion megabatteries to emerging flow battery technologies, is being deployed at unprecedented scale, helping to smooth out the intermittent nature of wind and solar. But will it be enough? The answer depends on a complex interplay of innovation, investment, and policy. Cooling systems in data centers, once notorious for their inefficiency, are now being optimized by AI, reducing energy waste and shrinking the environmental footprint. China's push for green data centers has set an ambitious target. By the year 2025, the average power usage effectiveness, the ratio of total energy consumed to energy actually used for computing, should drop to 1.25 or lower. That would make Chinese data centers among the most efficient in the world. Meanwhile, the East Data West Computing Initiative is relocating energy-hungry data centers to China's sun-drenched, wind-rich western provinces, where abundant renewables can power the digital economy without overloading the already stressed eastern grid. Yet, as the AI tide rises, can China ensure that clean energy production keeps pace? Or will blackouts and bottlenecks threaten its digital ambitions? The stakes could hardly be higher. In the words of Li Shuo, a senior fellow at the Asia Society Policy Institute, the United States will champion a fossil fuel economy, while China will lead the low-carbon economy. It is a compelling vision, but as demand explodes and the grid strains under the dual pressure of AI and decarbonization, a critical question looms. What happens if China's bold green gamble falters? Is the world's biggest clean energy build-out enough to keep both the lights and the servers on? Let's break down the scenarios unfolding right now. Imagine, in the most optimistic case, that China's colossal investments pay off. The country could dominate the global renewable supply chain, exporting not just solar panels and wind turbines, but also grid management software, battery storage solutions, and AI-powered energy management systems. According to REN21, China's renewable investment in the previous year alone surpassed $290 billion United States dollars, dwarfing most other economies. This scale is so vast that energy experts like Praveer Sinha have openly stated, no one can compete with China's scale in renewable manufacturing at this moment. Such dominance would have far-reaching geopolitical implications. Countries in Africa, Southeast Asia, and Latin America are already turning to China for affordable renewable infrastructure. In Kenya, for example, Chinese-built wind farms now provide a significant share of the country's power. In Argentina, Chinese investment is behind one of the largest solar projects in South America. This international expansion is not simply about market share. It is about establishing technological standards, building diplomatic influence, and shaping the contours of global trade in the 21st century. But this ambition is not without risk. If China's grid infrastructure cannot keep up, bottlenecks may worsen. Power shortages could slow the AI revolution, undercutting not just China's own technology sector, but global supply chains that increasingly depend on Chinese data processing. Remember, nearly 100 gigawatts of new coal-fired plants broke ground in the previous year, signaling that fossil fuels are still acting as a safety net. As Lori Miliverta cautions, China is off track for its carbon intensity goals. It's a race against time, not just a clean energy sprint. The risk is not hypothetical. In the summer of 2022, Several Chinese provinces experienced rolling blackouts as a deadly heat wave pushed electricity demand beyond the grid's capacity. Factories in Saskatchewan were forced to shut down for days, and even major semiconductor fabs had to halt operations. The economic losses ran into billions of United States dollars. Since then, the government has redoubled efforts to improve grid resilience, but the lessons remain clear. The energy transition is not just about building more wind turbines or solar panels. It is about fundamentally re-engineering the backbone of the economy. On the opportunity side, China is betting big on innovation. Smart grids powered by AI now predict renewable output and manage energy flows with unprecedented precision. Real-time data from millions of sensors are fed into machine learning models, allowing grid operators to adjust supply and demand on the fly. The push for so-called green data centers is already reducing energy waste, with leading facilities aiming to reach a power usage effectiveness of 1.25 by the year 2025. China's East Data West Computing Initiative is a case study in strategic planning. By moving data centers closer to the abundant wind and solar resources of the West, the country is not only easing grid pressure in the overcrowded East, but also stimulating economic growth in less developed regions. There is also a strong push for advanced energy storage. Mega battery installations, pumped hydro storage, and even experimental hydrogen systems are being rolled out to store surplus renewable energy and release it when the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing. These technologies are essential for stabilizing the grid and ensuring that clean power is available around the clock. China's scale allows it to experiment with a range of solutions at once, often leapfrogging slower-moving economies. But if this balancing act fails, the consequences could ripple far beyond China's borders. Global technology firms relying on Chinese data processing might face delays or higher costs. Climate targets worldwide could slip further out of reach, as emissions reductions in China are critical to the planet's overall progress. Geopolitically, a renewable misstep could open the door for fossil fuel-heavy rivals, such as the United States, Russia, or Saudi Arabia, to regain ground in the global energy race. There are other, subtler risks. Overcapacity is emerging as a concern. In some regions, wind and solar farms are being built faster than the grid can absorb their output, leading to curtailment, where energy is generated but wasted because it cannot be transmitted or stored. This inefficiency undermines both economic returns and climate benefits. There is also the challenge of phasing out subsidies for renewables, a move that could slow investment if not handled carefully. Grid integration, carbon trading, and regulatory reform are now urgent priorities for policymakers. So what does all this mean for you? First, it's a reminder that every time you use artificial intelligence, from smart assistants to cloud services, a hidden energy story unfolds, powered by a battle between clean ambition and old habits. If you're interested in clean tech or investing in the energy sector, watch China's grid and storage innovations closely. These breakthroughs, like smart grid AI, ultra-efficient data centers, and next-generation batteries, will set trends worldwide, shaping everything from your electricity bill to global stock markets. There are also lessons for governments and industry leaders everywhere. China's experience demonstrates that scale alone is not enough. Policy must keep pace with technology, and infrastructure must be built with flexibility in mind. The rapid deployment of smart meters, flexible demand response programs, and AI-driven energy management are all tools that other nations can adopt. The challenge is not unique to China. The entire world is grappling with the tension between soaring digital demand and the imperative to decarbonize. If you are a policymaker, investor, or entrepreneur, consider the opportunities and pitfalls revealed by China's journey. The blending of AI and clean energy will define the next chapter of economic growth. Investing in advanced grid technologies, supporting research in energy storage, and fostering international cooperation are all ways to stay ahead of the curve. As global competition intensifies, those who master the energy technology nexus will shape the future. The lesson is clear. Technology's future is inseparable from energy's future. Where China leads, others are likely to follow. Whether in smart grid rollouts, ultra-large battery installations, or green data center design. And if you live in a country betting on artificial intelligence, China's mix of risk-taking, rapid scaling, and sometimes contradictory policy could preview challenges coming your way next. The ongoing debate over the role of fossil fuels, the pace of renewable adoption, and the integration of digital infrastructure is playing out in real time, with China at the epicenter. So, can China's renewable surge keep pace with its artificial intelligence boom? The answer, for now, is a cautious yes. China's speed and scale are rewriting the playbook, But grid bottlenecks, overcapacity, and coal reliance remain stubborn obstacles. Success will hinge on whether innovation outpaces inertia, both in hardware and in policy. If China can continue to invest in grid modernization, balance regional disparities, and maintain a steady pace of decarbonization, it may well secure its place as the world's energy and technology powerhouse. If not, the consequences could be disruptive, not only for China, but for everyone connected to the global digital economy. And here is a secret that most headlines miss. China's foreign investment law, quietly updated in the year 2020, now makes it far easier for global companies to co-invest in Chinese renewables. This behind-the-scenes shift could unlock even greater leaps in clean energy technology, accelerate knowledge transfer, and trigger a wave of cross-border innovation. Imagine a future where European battery breakthroughs are scaled up in Chinese gigafactories, or American AI algorithms optimize solar farms in Inner Mongolia. The possibilities are as vast as they are consequential. As we look ahead, the intersection of energy and technology will remain the world's next big story. China's silent revolution is not just about its own future. It is about the future of every country navigating the double helix of digital transformation and climate action. The stakes are nothing less than planetary. Whether you are a tech enthusiast, an investor, or simply a citizen concerned about the world we will leave to future generations, keep your eyes on China's grid. The choices being made today will echo for decades. If you found this exploration of China's high-stakes energy revolution eye-opening, make sure to subscribe. Where energy and technology intersect,